All right, welcome back, Golfing World. It is TGD today, and this is our 2015 year in review. We have Professor Gene Weldon with us today, Hugh Roy III, of course, professional golfer extraordinaire, and I'm your humble host, George Honeycutt, the Godfather. So, humble.
Oh, man, I need my boots. It's getting deep in here. Lord help.
Well, folks, gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun so far this morning. Al just stepped out for a few moments. He'll be right back, but we've talked about a little bit about the majors and all, but 2016 brings us the year of the Ryder Cup. And frankly, I'm tired of a butt whooping. I'm tired of getting it. I'm tired of prepping for it. I'm tired of talking about it for, almost 25 months before we start getting back into, we talked about this year's butt whooping at last Ryder Cup.
Well, your bunker that you built, with all your alcohol and stuff in it, just go stay down there during the Ryder Cup and you'll be fine because it's happening again.
Yeah. Let's hope not.
I don't know about that. I'm feeling optimistic this year.
Well,
of course, I'm optimistic every year, and
like
I'm
my
disappointed a lot.
Like my daddy says, you can be optimistic in this one, and okay. Yeah.
I even heard one of your good friends the other day, Charlie Reimers, make the statement, said, I want to be optimistic, but doggone it, it just seems to be a trend. And no matter how good our players are playing, it just always seems like there seems to be that one day that puts us so far behind the eight ball we can't catch up. And I have to agree with him.
Well, I tell you, I just find it hard to believe that somebody like Davis hasn't gone down and spent time with Paul Azinger and said, okay, teach me this system and help me put this into play.
Yeah, but it's not rocket science, dude.
Dude, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid getting in trouble. Okay?
Okay, I'll let you go there.
But Azinger came up with the perfect plan.
Yeah.
And nobody has used it since.
Yeah.
And that's the last time we won, Gene.
I know. I just
yeah, but it could have been. Oh, never mind. I'm not going there.
Why don't we take it a step farther? Why hadn't he been reinstated as captain?
Well,
he obviously.
I don't think he wants it.
I don't think it's that at all. I think he's got there's something going on with somebody on the inside.
Behind closed doors.
Yes.
Wasn't there a panel that was put together to make some changes, and he wasn't invited?
Mm-hmm.
How dumb is that?
Yeah. It's pretty ignorant, if you ask me.
Yeah. So, talking about 2016 Ryder Cup, it, of course, is back here in the U.S., and we have Davis Love III as captain. We have, of course, Tom Lehman as vice captain, Steve Stricker, vice captain, Tiger Woods, vice captain. I suspect they're going to do Fred Couples, vice captain.
Jim's in there.
And
Furyk's in there. Furyk's already in there.
Yeah.
And if he makes it, then obviously he won't. But I think, to be honest with you, the vice captains are the key to this thing. They're the ones that are going to come up with the ideas and the proposals and the way to do things that are going to, if this thing does work, is going to be why. They're all very competitive. They're all they have fun, but yet they're all very serious when it comes to golf. And I just think their ideas are going to be tremendous benefit to the team.
When it comes to the team, the team composition and the team pairings and the way they play and the way they prepare and the way they practice, it would be my suggestion that Davis just get the hell out of the way.
He better just keep his mouth shut and say, boys, what do you think? Here's what I think. What do y'all think?
And he can pick out the clothes. He can pick out the golf bag. He can set up the dinner reservations. He can do the press release sweep. He can do the media press. But when it comes to the actual playing of this, you're not going to get any better, more competitive than Tom Lehman, and you're not going to get any better than Jim Furyk as far as Bulldog.
And Steve.
And then Stricker.
Tiger is going to be the rookie advisor or the assistant team captain in this thing. He's going to have some good things to add, but these other three are the ones that are going to run this team. They have to. If they don't, we're going to absolutely get annihilated, and I don't care how good of young players you have.
Well, the European squad, their captains, they repeat their system. They repeat their process. This year, Darren Clark, he will be very much like captains of past. He's not going to recreate the wheel. I guarantee it.
Why would
The
he?
RNA would let him.
If it ain't broke, why try to fix it?
So the RNA absolutely thoroughly enjoys the fact that they can walk into the annual meetings with the USGA, the PGA Tour, all the other quote-unquote tours, and bow their chest out that they've got that Ryder Cup in their suitcase up in the room.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be honest with you, and I said it earlier in the first show that we did, George, it was 100 years of the PGA Tour, the 48th year since the separation of the PGA. This year should be the first year they separate the Ryder Cup from the PGA and give it to the PGA Tour.
Sure.
Because the PGA of America, it's all politics. It's behind the doors. They are guys that worry about cart fleet management, golf shops, and members. We're talking about a Ryder Cup to where you have to get involved. And I'm a member of the PGA of America, Gene, just like you.
So do you give
But
it
you
half
know what?
to the PGA Tour and half to the European Tour?
I say you give it. The PGA Tour runs things. They can keep whatever they want as far as where the money and the benefits go. They can come to an agreement on that, but let the PGA Tour run it. This is what these people do. They are professional golfers. This is a professional golfer association. It is the tour players. It's not the club pro section of it. Mm-hmm. The club pros are involved, but what do they know about playing competitive golf? Mm-hmm. Other than the guys that are in the PGA that are club pros now that used to play the tour?
Well, they're not competitive at the highest level, and it doesn't get any higher, in my estimation, than the Ryder Cup.
I agree.
You're playing for your country. And
well, it's like the Walker Cup. I mean, it's considered esteemed ground. I mean,
I think if you go back and look hard at the records of who's winning matches
mm-hmm.
and who's not, who was the hottest thing we had the last time we played the Ryder Cup? Who was the hottest team?
It had to be Reed and them.
Reed and Spieth.
Reed and Spieth. Yeah.
Nobody touched them.
Yeah.
Nobody touched them. I think they halved one match together.
Yeah.
The rest of them, they won a point.
Yeah.
So, to me, it says we need to get rid. And listen, I grew up with all of these other guys we're talking about, but I think we need to have some young guns on that team, and not just two.
Well, great transition.
And I think there's going to be a lot of those.
Too. Let's throw some names out for young guns. Let's throw some names out. I'll throw one out and get things started. We talked about him in the previous segment. I think a young gun that has to establish himself throughout the entire summer in preparation of the Ryder Cup is Ricky Fowler.
Agreed. 100%.
Yep.
And I'll tell you who else will be there. And I've known this kid since he was about, 5, 6 years old. Kevin Kisner will be there. This kid has got him the size of flipping bowling balls, and he is not scared.
Look at what he did at Harbortown.
And look, Harbortown, TPC, Greenbrier, then he wins at St. Simon's. This kid is going to be a superstar. He already is a superstar, but he is going to be a household name even more than he is.
All right.
You got Reed.
So we
already mentioned him.
We already mentioned Reed, but now Reed's dropping in world ranking points. He's actually going backwards, where he is the 5th best player in the world, according to him. He's now number 11.
I think you'll see a turnaround this year.
I think so.
Okay. So we got Reed, we got Kisner, we've got Fowler.
Yep.
We know we got Jordan Spieth.
That's a given. Yep.
That's a given.
Okay.
I like your pick of Brooks Koepka.
We got the considerations of a Koepka.
Jason.
We've got Chris Kirk.
No, he's New Zealand. He's
New Zealand.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. We've got.
Everybody gets one.
It's okay. I did the same thing with Lydia Ko in the Solheim Cup, so it's okay, man. We've got Chris Kirk.
But we'd love to have him.
We'd love to
have him. Hell, so would the Europeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Chris Kirk. We've got Harris English. We've got one name that I threw up to Hugh before we came on the air is this young man that just won #1 position in the Web.com tour. He's already established himself in first 5 events that he's played in on the PGA Tour, in the fact that he's got top 20s in each event that he's participated in, and that's Patton Kizzire.
Yeah.
Yep. Patton Kizzire is going to be a name. He's a great talent. He's a tall kid, 6'4", hits it a long way, played at Auburn. He came out, didn't win, and was leading the money list on the web.com. How,
Right.
how do you do that halfway through the year? Then he finally won a couple of times, but he had finished second and this, that, and the other, but just kept playing solid golf.
Right.
This is the kind of people you need on your team.
Steady player, Daniel Berger.
Yeah, I agree.
Berger.
The kid played great this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He played great this year. And then you start jumping in and looking at, you've got these younger guys.
Well, we got the young guys.
I think
yeah.
you're looking definites without a question of a doubt with Kisner, Fowler, Koepka, and Reed. I think those.
Okay,
to me,
what about 2-year removed now, FedEx Cup champion Billy Horschel?
if he can get back into form?
He's got to get back in form.
He's got to get back in form.
Okay,
But I think that would be a good one if he's playing well because he's like Kevin. He's not scared.
Haas.
And when he gets fired up, he gets everybody fired up.
Haas.
Bill Haas, possibly, yeah, it could. I think
He's
would-
not the old
Bill-
guy, but I think he would add to the team, and I think he'll probably be there.
and after the way he played in the President's Cup this year, I think he's
Yep.
earned
he
the
played very well. in
earned the
President's Cup.
opportunity. You know, his dad
Yeah.
picked him, took a chance, and caught a
Yeah.
lot of heat, and the kid produced.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I think that's good. Now let's go to the older group.
Well, the older group, of course, you throw in Furyk, you throw in Zach Johnson.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I don't think he's not that old. I wouldn't put him in the same stage with Furyk. He's not that old.
He's
close.
He's seasoned.
He's close.
In his 30s?
He's as
Let's
close.
do let's
Zach's
say
been around.
let's say older is 10+ years on the tour. How about that?
You're veterans.
Maybe they're 30.
He's made over 150 cuts and he's won a major and this, that, and the other. The man's a veteran, so that puts him in the older
We're
category.
talking Hall of Fame stuff.
I'd love to see him on the team.
Oh, I don't think there's any question he
I
will
would.
be. And
I'd love to see him on the team.
I like the one thing George brought up earlier when we were talking about this, J.B. Holmes.
Yeah.
I think J.B. Holmes is a great addition to this.
See, JB brings with him the emotion and the energy of a Boo Weekly.
And
you know?
he's got the opportunity, and I think he'll take advantage of it. I think he'll qualify. I do. If he has the kind of year, kind of the way
he
he
did this past year.
Yep.
Yeah.
There needs to be, with the crowds, with the attendance, with the prep and lead into this year's Ryder Cup, there needs to be a blue-collar player. And that blue-collar player would be J.B. Holmes.
I
bring
agree.
it,
I agree.
Categorically, he kind of fits that role. Now, those others that have been out on tour for 10+ years, Jimmy Walker.
He just needs to start playing better again. Jimmy Walker is perfect for the Ryder Cup. He's perfect for the President's Cup. He's just been playing like crap.
Matt Kuchar.
That's a given to me.
yeah.
Now, Matt kind of tailed off at the end of this quote-unquote playing season before we took the holiday break. But Matt's a stable. He's got the fire, the determination. I mean, who did Tiger pick every time he wanted to play in a President's Cup or a Ryder Cup? He took Matt. Kuchar was his man. They came up with the famous little high-five slap.
Yeah.
Okay? So Kuchar, I consider Cooch as really already being there. But my only concern is he doesn't play well enough to qualify, so that leaves him into a captain pick role. Okay?
How about a wild card, Ryan Moore?
Ryan Moore.
He's a good player.
Ryan Moore.
Yes, sir.
I agree. I'll write that down.
Who's the other young man? Justin Thomas? Didn't he win?
JT.
Yeah.
Another man. Yeah, but he would be a young gun. Yeah,
Adam-
even though he's been out on tour for 4 years, 5 years.
Adam Scott.
He's not American.
No, he's Australian.
You only get one.
That's okay.
Oh, only get one.
You only get one.
Turn his mic off, Jeff.
He's done.
He's
I done the same thing last time.
Yeah.
Remember? I picked 3.
I mean, let's.
Covering all bases, Hey.
That's true. I mean, do we
can't get Justin Rhodes either, okay?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We can't get Sergio.
That was my 4th pick, man. That was my 4th pick.
I mean, we look at who they're going to bring, and some of their quote unquote names, like Sergio, for example, their quote unquote names they're kind of settling back. They're kind of falling back. They're going to end up being captain's picks.
What are you smoking?
But
Sergio
you got
just won.
Hold on. Just relax. You're the first one that have been joking with me all year in my Sergio support.
The crush is over.
I mean,
now he's gonna pick on him.
The man crush is over.
all he does is sit here and go to his knees about Sergio, but yet
Go
now
to
all of a
his
sudden
knees.
he's going backwards.
That's
you
good.
know,
Is that with pads or without?
You know, and all of a sudden he said, "Oh, his career is on the downcline." And the
towel.
guy just won a couple of weeks ago for crying
And
out
he did,
loud.
and I was very proud to see it happen.
I'm like, what is
Of course, the field that he was up against,
this woe is me thing, Jeff? It's killing me.
But you look at McElroy. I mean, McElroy this year dealt with that injury, self-induced.
He got engaged. He's ready.
He's ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
This
is number 2.
I
Yeah.
know, but he's got a good
And
one
look, hold on. Whoa. Hello. Dr. Ruth. What do you think, Dr. Phil?
Look, I'm still on my second one. I ain't on my fifth one. like you.
Hold on. All right, here we go.
I better hush,
Hold on.
too.
Here we go. All right, here we go.
But with what you're saying, Sergio and him, I understand where you're going with this. But I tell you what, look at how they're playing.
Look at how they do play.
And you put them in that situation.
I don't care who you got on the team.
And as much
look
as
at
you
how
hate
they do play.
Oh, the way they pair them.
It's how they pair them. I agree. 100%.
Ian Poulter.
And see,
Ian
and he knows
Poulter.
I love Poulter.
And
Poulter's
if
a
you don't
perfect
think
pick.
he's going to be on the
Ian
team, you don't know them
Poulter.
very well.
Oh,
He'll
no.
be there.
Clark will
Oh,
pick
no.
him.
He'll be there.
Oh, I said it 8 months ago
You did.
when we got our butt kicked.
He did.
I wouldn't want to look
The only person I guarantee you, and I put all the money I have down right now that will be on the 2016 Ryder Cup for the European squad, Ian Poulter.
as well he should be. Look at his record.
Oh, hell yeah. He plays like crap 24 months before Ryder Cup. He'll go out there and be a world beater.
I think we got off of the American side a little too quickly because I think you're going to see something this year that you've never seen before. When it comes time to look at the top 10 players or 12 players or whatever they take, it's going to be young kids. That's who's going to be on the money list for the young kids, I think. I don't think you're going to see the Phil Mickelsons. I don't think you're going to see
No.
I really don't. I think you're going to see
I agree with you.
12
we
young
talked about this
guys.
earlier with Mickelson. You know, that
But
it's just-
Changing of the guards.
Okay, you want to go back to the U.S. squad. All right, is when you look at that top 10,
You're going to have some players. You're going to have Dustin Johnson in there. He's going to win 2 or 3 times, and he'll be up. He'll qualify.
but will you have Furyk and Johnson?
You might have Johnson. I don't think you're going to have Furyk. I think he's getting to that age.
That's what I was just fixing to ask. What's that age?
35, 36.
How old is Furyk?
Furyk's
Jim's
30,
40.
40.
He's in his
He's
40s.
40s,
And
41
Tiger's
too.
40 now
Yeah.
after his birthday yesterday.
I just think you're going to see a changing of the guard. That's what I
That's
think.
what I've got
And I
right here.
hope there
Changes
is
in the
one.
guard.
I do too because the old guard can't get it done.
Of it.
Yeah.
I'm damn tired of it.
I think
And
you're dead
when-
right, George. I think you're dead right. I mean, it's got to be. We've got to give these kids and put them out there in the fire and let's see what they can do with it.
Some new personalities. I mean, it's.
I mean,
it's
we've
all
seen what
right.
the old guys do. They go out there and they choke and they get their butts beat.
We talked about it at the President's Cup. Why not give these young farts the opportunity to go out there and be under the gun and the pressure in an international competition and let them play?
I think they're going to do it on their own. I think you're going
But
to
we
look
see
at
it.
them on the
But we
list.
see it every doggone competition. The same people, whether it's a captain's pick or whether it's through the qualifying. So it's time to reach outside the box.
How many captain's picks are there this year?
3,
Three.
4.
There's 3, I think.
The old saying is the cream always rises to the
Used
top.
to be 2. I think it's 3 now.
So time will tell.
But I mean, that's why I say it needs to go from the PGA of America to the PGA Tour.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen, dude. Okay? At least not in our lifetime.
I tend to lean on what George just said. The PGA is not going to let it go,
Yeah, and
and they don't have to.
No, because it's the biggest money maker they've got.
Hey, it may be, but
Thank you very much.
You
This
keep-
this is a business, folks. It boils down to money.
and if you keep losing,
Okay.
people are going to get disinterested in it.
They
and
get
it's going
$500
to-
million to show this thing on television. Heck, it ain't going nowhere.
Agreed.
Okay? So,
But he's got a point.
He does have a point. He's always got a point.
At what? Well,
Although his points are dull as anything.
No, this
but
one's
he's
right
got a
on.
point.
This one's on the money. I mean, how long will we put up with it if they continue to do what they do? I'm gonna still be there.
Who is we?
The people that watch it, the people that go to it.
Yeah, but how many times do you see the market share drop down as far as viewership?
You don't.
Before they start making a change.
I think you're going to see the change this year, and I think it's going to be brought on by the kids that earn their way onto the team, and they can't take it away from them.
That's the way it's going to have to be, because I think George has hit the nail on the head. If they keep staying the way they're going and they keep going the way it's been going, your market shares, I don't care how much money they make, it's going to go down, and it's going to go through the floor. Yeah. People get tired of watching losers.
Well,
period.
And people get tired of hearing the same damn thing. That's why there was so much press. There was so much follow-up. There was so much interest in what Mickelson did with Tom Watson at that table. That reached to every sports fan in the world, what he did, golfer or non-golfer. What he did there in the media's promotion of it reached everybody. And all of a sudden, there was more people paying attention to the PGA Tour and what was happening in golf than ever before, just because of that conflict, that personal attack. Why? Because we love to sit in front of those tubes and watch reality TV.
You know, it is amazing how that the personal lives of players, you know, have come more into the spotlight now that the sport has grown. You know, it's kind of like the.
But who brought that on?
Be the media. Tiger.
You listen to your sports shows, football, everything else. It's all right out there in your face. I mean, I'm listening on the way in this morning, and they were wondering why they didn't ask Beckham about his sexual preferences.
Who cares?
Who cares? Those people that you're talking about are sitting there.
That's right.
They care. Gives them something to talk about. I don't care.
We haven't been paying a doggone bit of attention. It's been quiet as quiet could be. Clemson is playing today in the Orange Bowl.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Why did you know that? Yeah. Because 3 players yesterday got sent home.
Well, I knew it before
hold on a minute. They failed a drug test. All of a sudden, poof. The world's coming to an end. Let's pay attention to this. Oh, now Clemson doesn't have a chance against Oklahoma. You know, people that have none, they don't even know what size of football is. They don't know what shape it is.
It'll still be a close game, I think.
But the point is, they've got 113 players in Miami. He sent home 3. He's got 110 left. Okay? Dabo Swinney doesn't care. He says everybody else passed, these boys didn't. Now, how dumb is it for those 3 kids?
He did the right thing. I agree wholeheartedly.
But I'm talking about that's reality TV. That's why there's now all this attention on the Orange Bowl, where before it was just another football game.
Yeah.
Well, not for Clemson fans.
No. And I'm not picking on Clemson. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying reality TV. Okay? Jason Day goes down. Vertigo. What happens? ABC News. Boom. First story.
Yep.
CBS News. Boom. First story. CNN. They're tracking it like they were following OJ in a Bronco. Okay? How many times did they show him riding in the cart and getting out and wobbling and trying to walk up to the trailer and all this other stuff?
Every time he did it.
8 seconds. Every 8 seconds they were showing that somewhere.
Yep.
Okay? They weren't showing the bad grass on the greens. They weren't showing the 5 holes that the spectators couldn't get to. But they were showing that.
And that even goes back. I remember, you know, when Tiger was going through all that mess. You know, supposedly the facility that he was going to get treatment, they literally built a gigantic wall out of cloth, you know, to keep the media from filming it. You know, and they were outside of the facility. This is a facility, you know, where Tiger Woods is now undergoing treatment. You know, and it's like, man, if you got nothing better to do with your life.
But you know what? That brings people to the game.
Well,
golf is considered boring.
Back to the right. Well, now I think this year, with the competitiveness every tournament you turned on, you didn't know who was going to win it on Sunday
No,
afternoon.
you had
No.
no clue.
You
No.
didn't know.
No.
Before, you always knew.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. It was Tiger's world.
It was Tiger was the best player out there.
And if somebody else won, it was a fluke.
Well,
There was an injury
Who
or
was the PGA pro that said any tournament that was won without Tiger being in it should have an asterisk by it?
Ooh. Ooh. And you were playing for second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You didn't hear that?
Yeah.
I did.
I'm trying to think of who said
trying to
it.
remember
It was
who
another
said it.
tour player. But
Yeah.
with that being said,
So-
what was Tiger's Ryder Cup record?
It's poor.
Oh, it was poor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he's the best player. So what's going on there?
Absolutely. Poor.
I
If
mean,
you look at McIlroy's record, poor.
you know, I can
Yeah.
remember a point in time when I said, you know, there really needs to be two leaderboards. You know, he was playing so well that, you know, that you needed one board for him and then another board for everybody else. I mean, it was just
Yeah, sure. It's just like a couple weeks ago, MB Park. You needed one leaderboard for her,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the field.
yeah, because yes, sir.
Yeah. So I mean, it boils down to it, guys. This is a marketable sport. This needs to be marketed better.
Yes,
There
sir.
needs to be more
Yeah.
people. We complain about number of rounds, number of new golfers, average age of golfers. You know, who's coming in, who's leaving, how many golfers are we losing a year? You know, it's like in our market here, we worry about number of rounds, we worry about number of travelers, number of tourists, number of package play, number of, you know, whatever. When you break it all down, golf just needs to be promoted better. And what's the biggest tool for promoting golf? The PGA Tour. Because of that little box that we sit and just engage ourselves with. And now this box.
Yep.
Well, I think that's why we're seeing an uptick in golf. It's getting better. It's getting better to watch on television. My father-in-law never hit a golf shot in his life. He watches now.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Man, who's going to win today?" You know, he'll call me, "Who's going to win today?"
Is the
I
guy in
said,
the
"Pop."
orange pants going to win? Yeah. Is the guy, you know, is the guy who supposedly is a dope addict going to win? Is the guy, you know, that fell down at that tournament and he passed out on the golf course?
Is he still
gonna
falling
win?
down, or is he going to win? Yeah.
Do you see what tags they put on these people?
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
I hear it every day. They don't remember the names. They remember the situations and the occurrences.
Well, that's because
what's the
they're
last
showing
tag
it
they
to
were
you
putting
every
on you?
time you turn around.
You're getting it shoved straight down your face.
Yep.
Not the play. I mean, the Golf Channel even is, you know, the best thing to ever happen to the game of Golf Channel. No doubt about it. I thank Mr. Palmer every day for doing it. But because it entertains me.
I used to live on the thing.
And we
That's
all
right.
we
Yeah.
all sat there when it first came on and said 24 hours of golf.
It'll never happen.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
What can
But
what can
I'm
you
so
do?
glad it did because I bought some of that stock.
Did you?
I'm so
Smart
glad
move.
it did.
They,
But
they spent 24 hours on Tiger turning 40 yesterday.
that's right.
Yes, sir.
It's a slow time of the year, bud. Let's go back to Ryder Cup. The powers behind the mahogany doors, as I refer to it,
That's a good way to
out
do
of
it.
all respect, they need to go ahead and make this Ryder Cup, just because of the marketing aspect of it, they need to go ahead and do the change over to the young guns, whether they win or lose.
It's time.
And I don't really think they're going to have a choice, like Gene said. I think
I
that's
think
who's
it's
going
done.
to
They're
be
going
there.
to earn it.
I
I
think
think
it's a
they're going to
done
have
deal.
to. If you get one of the older guys, it's probably going to be a pick.
Yeah.
I think Gene hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's what we start looking for in the end of January, February, March, April, as we start running into Augusta. We start looking at those young guns and where are they falling? Are they moving up the money list?
I say by June you'll have a good idea of what's
Look
going
at the
on.
5 or 6 that won for the first time in the
Just the last couple of
season
months.
of the season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're coming out with their guns blazing.
Mm-hmm.
They can win.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Facebook showing these kids. They're all in the gym. They're on the golf course.
Yep.
They're hitting balls,
Yep.
and it's a different ball game now, and it's nice to see. It's like I said,
It's refreshing.
it is very, and you see the kids going up and thanking people and thanking the tournaments and doing, they're not just accepting it. Okay, thanks, see you later, and walking off. I mean, it's
Something I think that's really key too is on this Tiger Turns 40 thing, they interviewed all the top golfers, and 3 of them said that Tiger's the reason they're in the game. Okay, so if you look at Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth and Jason Day and these guys, how many kids are they going to influence? I mean, golf has changed.
That's right.
Oh, big time.
I mean,
time.
it's really changed. These young guys, I think, are going to bring people into the game. I hear a lot of people say, no, that's not going to happen. But, yeah, it is.
Well,
Those people are the old guys.
Yeah.
And you interview Tiger and you interview Mickelson and you interview some of the older guys that are in their 40s turning 50. And who did they say? We watched Arnie.
Yeah.
We watched Jack. We
Yeah.
watched Gary Player. We watched those individuals, and they are the ones that brought us into the game.
But having so many of these young guys in contention right now, I mean,
It's refreshing.
yeah, it is.
It's marketable.
Yeah, it sure is.
And make sure they're there.
Yep. It
You
makes
know,
golf
when
more
you've got a
marketable.
Billy Horschel that wins the FedEx Cup, wins $10 million, has one of the biggest paydays in sports history at the time, and he's not on your Ryder Cup,
Yep.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Something's
Something's
wrong.
wrong.
Yep.
I agree.
No, you're right. Yep.
definitely.
Yep.
One thing I
Who'd
got
they pick instead?
Hunter
God.
Mahan, chunk and dunk.
He's right.
I know
if
he
you
is.
go in and if we
I know
go
he is.
if we go in and look at like Ricky Fowler, for instance, just for his one player, how he's influenced youth golf just with the colors that he wears. I mean, it that right there
Look
is
the hell what he's done for Puma and Cobra.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I mean,
That company would have been dead 5 years ago.
yes, sir.
Gone.
Yep. Titleist wrote it off. Yep.
Hell, all the manufacturers have wrote them off. They
Yeah.
aren't even a sniff. They
Yeah.
aren't even a competition.
Well, we're going to make our picks here shortly.
We
I'm
are.
sure.
And we need to move on.
Let me.
HR is going to
Quick
go.
question.
Yes, sir.
Simple. How many of you guys are picking old people to win the majors this year? I'm not.
No,
No. I'm
There you
not.
go.
Nope.
There
I'm
you go.
not. I'm not.
not a chance.
I'm not. So, and frankly, it seems to be a trend, but if you start looking back and look at the numbers, and I really wanted to do this in preparation for you, old man,
Yes, sir.
the years of Ryder Cups, and then look at who wins the majors in those years of Ryder Cup, because primarily it's European.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Rose, prime example.
Bingo.
And that's my pick is the guy to watch on any tour worldwide all year long. I think he's the guy that's his time to come out. We talked
Justin?
about this earlier. Yes, I
Justin
think, I
Rose.
think
Is
he's played
how
solid.
How do you miss a green with that swing?
And he's
Really?
played solid for the last 3 years. I mean, been right there, and I just think it's his breakout that you're going to see. I think he's the guy that you've got to look at. I mean, he's been in,
Well, he's got one under his
he's
belt.
got one under his belt at Marion, and you look at where they're going, Oakmont, Troon. I mean,
Do you remember who threw it away at Marion? Wedge shot. Blew it over the green by 20 yards. Mickelson.
Oh my God,
yeah,
Mickelson,
yeah.
Yeah, because that was also wasn't that the tournament he snapped the head off the 8-iron from the bunker?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Had 154 to the pin and only hit it 100 and looked up and hollering, how the hell did that happen? What happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be down. Yeah, you're right, Gene. I'm afraid Tiger is done. It's Mickelson. He's got arthritis issues. His health just not enabling him to. He can still hit it a ton. And that's through technology.
Yeah.
I think of all those older names that you talk about, and I laugh because Matt Kuchar's not that old. But when you sit and think about it, he's been around forever.
Well, Snedeker's been around forever. He's not that old.
That's true.
I can remember.
But Sned's on the backside of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I remember when the Canadian tour would come to Barefoot and Kuchar was here, and I'd do a little
Oh, I
work.
watched Cooch
yeah.
play at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
So,
he's seasoned, very seasoned.
But it's time to let these young gentlemen, who is the tour for the next 12 years, 13 years. We're seeing it every year now that people leaving the new quote-unquote qualification process, web.com tour, and getting to the PGA show, we're seeing them as better players. They're better athletes.
They're not scared to win.
They're more capable to win.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Professor.
Yep. We've got a
They're
lot
not
lot
scared
larger
to win.
field.
Well
Well,
said.
it's kind of like racing, to a point. There was a time when
Another damn racing.
you know me,
God, why do we?
Earnhardt.
Didn't you turn his mic off?
Earnhardt when he was in his prime, man? I'm telling you, you couldn't beat him.
Nope.
He was the man. He showed up. You were racing for second place.
And interestingly, if you look at Tiger's realm, he and Earnhardt were kind of going along side by side. I even saw some commercials where they would take the number 3 and put it on the side of Tiger's bag.
I love it.
Earnhardt was the Tiger Woods of
He
racing.
was the Tiger Woods of racing. Yes, sir.
Everybody else finished second.
That's it. We get, sometimes we just get somebody very, very special, and we get to watch them, and it's a gift. I just feel blessed.
We have that now with
We're
Jordan
Sid with
Spieth.
Spieth.
Yep.
We have it now with McIlroy.
Yes, sir.
We have it now with Jason Day. We don't just have one.
Yes.
We've got several.
Yep.
And we've got several that are coming up through the ranks that are going to be just as good.
I know some people don't like him, but I'll put another one right there with him, Bubba Watson. People go to the golf tournament to watch him play because they never know what he's going to do or how he's going to do it.
No, Sybil does entertain.
He can do things with a golf club that nobody else can do.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
there are people that go to the tournaments just to watch him. And I guarantee you, if I go to Augusta this year, I'll be following him.
Yeah, sure.
I will follow
him. Absolutely. And we're thankful to have him.
Yep.
Even though, when he reaches world number 1, he's going to retire. So I'm rooting for him, Get to world number 1, Bubba.
Me
I
too.
hope you get there. I would like to see Spieth and actually Day and Rose and, they just kind of get together and collaborate. I'm not suggesting a monopoly, but I'm kind of leaning that way and just say, let's just all stumble just enough so Bubba can kind of pop up there, take it for 1 week.
Bill Belichick, the Bill Belichick rule.
Just pop up there for a week. That's all. Let's just
that's
let
all.
him have it.
And choose to kick off in overtime.
Tuesday morning, and then, boom, he's gone.
He's just got a couple of squirrels running around. There's nothing he can do about
Call
it.
him Sybil.
Yeah.
He has no clue which personality is showing up that day.
That's true.
But, hey, Bubba's Bubba, and we're glad to have him.
Yes.
Fun to watch.
He is fun to watch. He's very colorful.
He's like Peter Jacobson. You always wondered how Jake ended up staying on tour. You always wondered. Well, it's because he owned every business behind the scenes, and that way he wasn't going anywhere. Okay? Jake wasn't the best player in the world, but boy, did he have personality.
He did.
Yep.
And was that boy an entertainer? And he still is to this day.
Yep.
So, Faraday, how does he end up making the money he makes based on his play?
He's got more than one squirrel loose.
Sure. But I'm going to tell you what, the boy could play.
Yep.
Sure he can.
Yep.
He was better than
No, I'm
Jacobson.
not.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Faraday could play.
Faraday
could play, and he still can
You
play.
just didn't see Faraday over here much till after the Ryder Cup at Kiowa.
That's right.
91.
But I got to know him in South Africa, and I'm telling you, he is loony as a bin, but he is one funny individual.
That's what I was just fixing to say. He is absolutely
if you
hilarious.
have the
Yeah.
opportunity
And we're
to get him
thankful to
one-on-one,
have
unbelievable.
Yes.
We're thankful,
thankful.
to have him.
Yeah.
he started
He's a
telling
character in the sport that has brought attention to the game of golf.
Yes.
Agreed.
Okay?
And he and McCord together were perfect. And then
Gary
Augusta,
McCord.
Then they screwed up, and Augusta ran him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the body bag, that's fine.
Bikini wax.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bikini wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Gary McCord, another character
What was
Oh,
the
yeah.
bikini
thankful
wa-
to have.
What was the bikini wax comment?
The greens.
Greens.
The greens were like
They were-
bikini wax.
They'd used bikini wax to get them so quick.
Yeah.
And
And the
Augusta
mounds
got
and the
pissed
mounds
off.
on 15 looked like a bunch of stacked body bags.
I remember that, the body bag comment. I mean, I could kind of see the body bag thing given the community and everything around there.
Yeah.
But the bikini wax, come on.
Yeah.
They didn't like it.
They didn't like
And
it
if
at all.
Augusta don't like it, you can forget it. And it's a
And-
shame because I
Say
think
bye.
it hurt them for a little while.
Let's
as far as-
assume, Jeff, like a lot of things that happened behind the mahogany doors, that there were other things that were actually come into play there in that decision. It wasn't just a bikini wax
Yeah.
comment.
It's,
Okay,
well, it goes
that
to
was
show
just
you, though,
icing
that
on the cake that they could release.
It goes to show you how opinions affect so many things, and everybody's opinion counts in some way. On one of our networks, our racing network, last
we
week.
go.
Oh, we got back to racing.
We got
Another racing.
We got
Here we go.
dinged by Google for having sexual content. Now, this site is the majority of the people that visit this site are 55 plus years old. Okay, so we found out what the sexual content was, and somebody had put a picture of the album cover from the Queen from Queen, Fat Bottom Girls.
Oh,
with
yeah,
a girl
yeah,
on
yeah.
the bicycle with a
Right.
butt crack. That was sexual content.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's funny.
You know,
Considering
some
what's
people
on
have
the
zero
internet.
tolerance. I mean, a little butt crack. I mean, what's wrong with that?
A little crack never hurt
Ain't-
anybody.
No.
I ain't got no problem with it.
Boys, we really didn't get in the LPGA. I don't want to feel like we've shunned them, but this was the year of Park and Co. I think we could pretty much wrap it up at that. I mean, you know, Lydia Co. My gosh.
Unbelievable.
You-
Great golf swing.
You can't. The girl dominated, and NB
did.
Park played well, and she dominated. It was a 2-person race, and that's the way it ended up. You had a few other winners and some good players, but these 2 girls were always the first thing to lead into every LPGA tournament.
But they're a lot like the PGA Tour. They've got players coming up.
Oh yeah,
They've got players coming up.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. Congratulations to the U.S. squad winning the Solheim Cup this year. They hadn't won since 2009.
I'm just disappointed we didn't have a cat fight, but other than that, it was.
Boy, it was close, though.
I
It was close.
Let's go back to my argument.
I wish somebody
How
would have
much
punched him.
attention did that Solheim Cup get? You could have surveyed 10 people out in this parking lot, and they would have asked him, first off, what is the Solheim Cup? They had no clue what it was.
That's right.
But as soon as that happened with Suzanne Patterson,
Yep.
that happened. You could take that same survey, and 9 of them would have known what occurred.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and not to get away from the girls, something you and I talked about a long time ago about bringing it up today, and we didn't do it. But another reason why we struggle in the Ryder Cup happened at Harding Park this year between your boy Keegan Bradley
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Yep.
If you don't think that wasn't gamemanship that was going on there to get in his head and screw him up,
You doggone right it was.
And
that's
guess what it did?
exactly, and that's what it did. And I'm telling you, that's another reason why we struggle at the Ryder Cup.
Sevy.
You brought
yeah.
that up, and I researched it and watched it and listened.
Yep.
And Jimenez said, "Look, I just went over there to find out what was going on." You know, and then he got it, and then all of a sudden he started pushing buttons, and you see the caddy and Keegan and Donna,
Oh, yeah.
and all of a sudden he just kind of walked off like whatever,
Yeah,
and then he
okay.
kept trying to say, "Look, you know, I just," and they wouldn't give him the time of day, and he said, "Okay, you're done. See you. Goodbye," and that was it. And I thought that was ingenious, you know, the way he did that, and you bringing
Because
that
Keegan
up
was playing very well.
playing very well, and you know, and he just want to know why you're taking the drop and why you're getting to go here, and all of a sudden they got defensive, and poof,
Yep.
and that is match play.
Yep, you're not going to talk to my caddy like that. And then then the caddy when they left it wouldn't even shake his hand.
No.
You know what I
No.
mean? And that was
And there was another confrontation in the clubhouse at the locker
Okay.
room area and this, that, and the other. But
Okay, yeah.
perfectly played by Angel. Perfectly played.
And
Yep.
Keegan now to this day admits it. He played me,
That's right.
Yep.
and he learned
Like a
now,
violin.
He won't be on the Ryder Cup team, but he got played. I mean, that's just.
Well, he deserved it in his high top.
So
Air Jordans.
it popped. I know, and it popped in my head, and I wanted to give you credit because you had mentioned that, and I went and researched it for you. So, so I'd be prepared when you started talking about it, and you let it go. So I wanted to bring it back. And
Yeah, there were several other things that happened during the year, but frankly, I thought it was more important that we just kind of catch up on the year. In fact, and I mean, we got shown a lot of good golf this year.
We did.
Oh yeah.
some
There
incredible
was some
shots.
phenomenal golf this year.
Yep.
I mean, some people that
Tour championship could not have been any better.
No, I agree.
I mean, it was perfect.
Yep.
Entertainment wise, drama wise, you know, it couldn't have gotten any better. And then you look at the whole Dustin Johnson thing at Chambers Bay. I mean, it was golf course, golf course, golf course, golf course. Oh my God. What did he just do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, PGA, we had Jason Day and his whole background history. I mean, they were running that every 40 minutes. The Open Championship, Zach Johnson, out of nowhere. How good was that? 30-foot putt, drained, chicken dance. How good was that? You know, it'll never happen again.
No.
Never happen again.
but it's got people watching the
In
game
our
that never
lifetime.
watched it before.
And that's
Absolutely.
what we
It's all
need.
about.
That's what we need. That's exactly
Like I
right.
said, it's good people
Absolutely.
that are being involved in this, and they're showing their. Like you look at Jordan Spieth and his sister, and that
Yeah.
whole story there. I mean, if you don't
Good
think
point.
that's not
Good
even
point.
just drawing women in, that's drawing
Oh, yeah.
mothers and kids, and his sister, and look what he does. And this guy's number one in the world, and yet there's his sister, and she's the first person he grabs. I mean, that says a lot about that young man. So
Same
it
thing.
makes golf look better.
Same thing at the FedEx Cup Championship.
He's first class.
She was the first one to hug him
Yeah.
when he walked off that green.
He's first class all the
Well,
way.
he said it more than once. She's his inspiration.
Yeah,
Doesn't get any better than that.
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Family's family, and that's the way it should be.
Yep.
Yep.
And he's a fine young man. No doubt about it. So, the year in review, 2015, we've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed bringing it to you. I again want to thank our close friend, Professor Gene Weldon. And we named him Professor because of his vast knowledge of this game and love of the game. And we so much love him for his love of the game. So, thanks, Gene, for coming in and joining us today.
Wouldn't have missed it for anything in the world.
Wouldn't have
Enjoyed it.
Loved
thoroughly.
having you.
Thank you.
Al Cloyd, happy 2016, buddy.
Well, thank you. I'm just happy to be here. I'm
And,
looking forward to next year with you guys.
By the way, that reminds me, get a show together for next week. You got a tech talk to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, HR, it's been a good year, baby.
You got it, brother.
Love you. George Honeycutt, for Jeff Gilder behind the glass, and all the other people associated with iNet Golf, with TGD Radio and TV, with thegolfdirector.com. We want to thank you for joining us and being with us through this whole year. 1,500 shows we produced for you, and it's all for you. So have a great holiday season. Look forward to 2016 and another wonderful golfing year right here, brought to you by thegolfdirector.com. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot more golf news and information coming up next.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.